Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Nerdy Fusion podcast. If it sounds different, it's because it is. As you guys know, I went through a bit of a rebranding process there, and we have a new name, a new logo, and yes, a new song. How cool is that song, right? I was a bit afraid of changing the song from the old song to this song. I don't know if you guys were gonna like it, but I took a risk. And usually I think about an idea in my head and then I start working on it without knowing if it's gonna work. It's a little bit like if you were thinking about baking a cake, and instead of getting all this stuff together first to see if it will work or if you have all the materials and ingredients that you're gonna need, you just start doing it. You start getting the flour on the bowl, and then you walk up to the fridge and open it and realize that you don't have eggs or milk. Usually that's what I do. I don't look for stuff first and then do the thing. I start doing the thing, and then whatever happens, happens. So that's what ended up happening with the rebranding of the podcast. I didn't tell you guys what I was gonna do beforehand because I wanted to surprise you. And everything is connected. The logo that I made, everything I did has a meaning and is paying homage to things that I like. As many of you already know, I'm a bit nerdy, so I like nerdy things. And one of those things is Gravity Falls. And that's why I chose the logo that I chose. If you guys know the show, you guys will understand. But once I did the logo, I realized that I didn't have a theme song to go with the new logo. And so I went on the internet and I searched and searched. It took me like 2 days because I had the concept, but I didn't have the song to go with it. Fortunately, I found this great song that put it all together. I found this guy who's very talented, and I want to give a shout out to Victor Spada. He did me a solid and let me use the song. When I reached out to him, I was really crossing my fingers because I didn't know if he was going to allow me to use it or not. I didn't know what kind of person he was going to be. But I was pleasantly surprised when he turned out to be a class act. The guy is super cool. We talked for a little bit and he told me that I could use the song. So thank you, Victor, for allowing me to use your song. Also, once I checked his Instagram, I noticed that he's very talented. He's working on some cool stuff. And there's nothing that I love more than creative people. But yeah, go check him out if you're a creative person. If you like music, if you like animation, go check his Instagram. I'm gonna leave it down on the description of this episode and all episodes going forward so that you can find them. The only thing I'm sad about is that I'm not gonna drive a lot of traffic to his Instagram because I don't know, there's like 14 people listening to this. I don't know. So sorry, Victor, we couldn't do better for you. But who knows, maybe one day I will be able to repay your kindness. Thank you so much. And then, aside from using his song, I also added a little bit of my flavor into it. And one of the things I did, I don't know if you got it when you listened to it, but I introduced tape noises. And a lot of young people that are listening to this don't know what the hell is a tape or a cassette. But gather around, kids. I'll tell you the story of the tape. Back in the days, they used to have this square piece of plastic that you used to put into a radio. And you hit a button and it used to play music. Woo! And I'm not that old. I'm a millennial. And I think being a millennial is the coolest because you got to see the best of both worlds. Because you were young enough to enjoy the retro stuff that the boomers left. But you were still young enough to just get on board with the new technology that is coming in. I swear, like in the span of 10 to 15 years, we went from tapes to CDs to MP3s to just streaming. Like, it happened so fast. And we got to live through all of it. And that's something that Gen Z kids won't get. If I had to do an analogy, I feel like we are the roller coaster ride. And on that analogy, the baby boomers were the part where you wait in line. And that's why they're grumpy all the time. They just spend 2 hours waiting online. And then Generation X is the time going uphill. You know, that point where the cart is just going click, 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 click. And then you gathering anticipation for what's coming. That's Generation X. And then millennials are like that. You know, the actual ride. I feel like we are the actual ride. And then Generation Z is like the ride home. Oh my god, I'm such an ass. But imagine, like, nothing is happening. Everything is boring. I'm depressed. Of course you're depressed. You just had the time of your life and now you're just going home to your boring life. So, I think that's the perfect analogy. But yeah, going back to it, I introduced those tape noises because it just fills me up with nostalgia. I think it was a cool thing. I like it. I don't know if you guys like it. If you want to leave your opinion, just go to the podcast Instagram. You can find it under nerdyfusion_podcast. I'm going to be talking about what I thought at one point was an alien encounter. So yeah, let's get it. So I have to tell you guys what happened to me the other day. I believe it was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. And it was really early. I think it was 5 a.m. 6 a.m. if you take into account the time change. Because here in New York, we do that thing where we do the daylight savings time. And you either spring forward or fall back an hour. You know, the whole deal. So I'm on my way to work. And it is really dark out. Especially because I live in a part of town that is not well lit. I'm just minding my own business, just driving. And all of a sudden, I see this glow. So much so that it's like drawing my eye to it. And I turn around and out of the driver's side window, I see this thing flying through the sky. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is not a plane. There's no way this is a plane. Is this a spaceship? Are these aliens? In my head, that's what I was thinking because I never seen anything like this. If I had to describe it, it's like this very bright object. And behind the object was this cloud. And the cloud also had a glow to it. It was glowing and sparkly in a way. So, and the tail went back, I want to say a mile back. And it was so bright that it lit up the night sky. And I'm like, dude, I think these are aliens. It's happening. Yo, it's happening, Joe. Oh my God. And I was freaking out. And then I said, all right, calm down. Let's think of something that is logical. This most likely isn't an alien spaceship. So think about it for a minute. And then after a few seconds, I came to the conclusion that this must be a comet. Because it looked like a comet. Usually comets leave a tail behind and they glow and stuff like that. So I decided that that's what it was and I kept going. Because I'm not going to follow this thing. The object was moving away from me in the opposite direction. And if I was curious enough, I could have turned around and tried to follow it. But hey, I've seen way too many movies. I know what happens in this situation. And I'm not gonna get killed first. If aliens show up, they better get somebody else. Because I'm not helping anybody. If you get stranded and you need to get help fixing your spaceship and going back home, I'm not helping you. Sorry, I'm not that kind of guy. You gotta find somebody else. Talk to Joe Rogan, he'll help you. But anyways, I saw that and I just kept going, which is good news for my employers because the world is coming to an end. I'm still clocking in. That's the kind of employee I am. But anyway, I get to work, and at work we have this TV, and on the TV the local news is playing, and they said something like, today if you saw something bright on the sky, you were probably watching SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. And I was like, oh, so that's what it was. It was my boy Elon Musk launching his Falcon 9 rocket. And I was thinking, yeah, that makes more sense. Of course it's not aliens. Usually the simplest answer is the best answer. So that was the end of that. I went crazy. I posted the video on my Instagram, told all my friends, and then it so happened that it wasn't aliens. So I looked like a fool, but it was fun. And let me tell you, this thing looks so crazy. It blew my mind. I didn't know rockets could look like that. I'm thinking, the way I see it, this thing was so cool, people would pay money to see that. Just to see the rocket flying. I'm telling you, because every summer near me, they do this show where planes come in and they do all sorts of maneuvers and loops in the air and all that stuff. And people go crazy for that. Hundreds, possibly even thousands of people go there to watch the air show. So if people pay for that, maybe Elon Musk could do the same thing and start charging for this stuff. Because I'm telling you, this rocket looks like it's from another world. But who knows, maybe he would waste more money on fuel than the money he would get from people. So maybe it's not worth it for him to do that. But I'm telling you, I'm actually so fascinated and intrigued that I wish I knew when the next launch would be, so that I can go there and watch it, or stand or park my car near the trajectory of the rocket so that I can see it again, because it is really mind-blowing, guys. And hey, kudos to Elon Musk. He's like the modern day Batman with his gadgets and the other cool stuff that he has. I tell you guys, nothing like being a man together with other men, just doing things that men do. Men and women. Hey, I'm not stupid. I know that some female scientists also worked on the Falcon 9 project. I don't want the two girls that listen to this podcast to get angry, alright? Don't go anywhere. Don't walk away from the podcast, alright? Stay with me. I need you guys to stick around for diversity purposes. This cannot be a sausage fest. And women invented plenty of stuff. You know what? Actually, I don't know that. Let me just look that up. And thanks to the magic of the editing process, I'm back from checking Google. We all need windshield wipers. Yeah. A woman came up with that. And coffee filters. Do you like coffee? I like coffee. So if you enjoy coffee, you thank a woman for the coffee filters. Because otherwise we would be making coffee on a sock? I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Let me just stop talking about the topic before I lose my entire female demographic, which is 2 of you. So stick around. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.